This is a story we haven't covered a lot here on the Trish Regan Show, but there's been a new development which I think kind of deserves our attention. New allegations that somehow Blake Lively, she was the actress from, what was that show? Gossip Girl. Oh, and also in a bunch of movies, including this particular movie with Justin Baldoni that is creating such a commotion. It Ends With Us is the name of it. Anyway, Blake Lively is being accused of totally betraying her alleged best friend, one Taylor Swift, because Blake Lively apparently was threatening to leak Taylor Swift's texts unless she sided with her against Baldoni in their feud. Their feud was all about Justin Baldoni allegedly making her feel very, very uncomfortable on set and taking advantage in certain scenes and this, that, and the other. It's effectively kind of like one of these Me Too kind of claims, only a lot of people are sort of saying, maybe this really wasn't a Me Too kind of claim and therefore kind of undercuts the entire movement. We'll get to that in a second, but just know that there are these new allegations in which they're saying one Blake Lively told Taylor Swift, if you don't side with me, I'm going to actually release text messages, to which I would say, if this is true, then Blake Lively is kind of a lousy person, right? Daily Mail reporting this exclusively, that Blake Lively allegedly threatened to leak embarrassing private texts from her bestie Taylor Swift unless the pop star agreed to publicly back the actress in her feud against Justin Baldoni. Now, you'll recall Taylor Swift has kind of taken a low-key position on all this. Taylor Swift's like, what do I have to do with it other than my song being in the show? But Justin has said that Blake, whom you see in the picture there, and is quite a looker, right? We're going to give her that. Blake was actually trying to intimidate him by saying she would effectively unleash her dragons, including one Taylor Swift, if she didn't get all the say in the production, the edit, etc. And that she took that influence and that fury and also these allegations, these Me Too allegations, up the food chain and tried to ruin him and his career. So he's suing her as a result of that for a lot of money, nearly $500 million. And we haven't been reporting on it, in part because it's okay, he said, she said, and it kind of feels like, sometimes you're getting down in the weeds. But I will credit some other people with having done a phenomenal job reporting on this. One, Candace Owens, who's been all over this from the beginning. And what I would just say at this moment in time, if these allegations are true, they caught my eye. They caught my eye because, wow, the idea that somebody would actually threaten that to one of their friends is kind of mind-blowing to me. And also because I suspect, as many others do, that she may have been using effectively that Me Too movement, which undercuts all women, right? If there's these false allegations out there, then it kind of makes the whole Me Too thing null and void. If you're using that victim mentality to try to get one up on someone else in a business arrangement, then that's, shall we say, a problem, right? Kind of a problem. Anyway, let me go to Candace on this because she articulated this quite well.
I have been on this Me Too thing for a very long time because I recognized that it was becoming a business strategy. But I think that something fractured for people that were on the left with the Amber Heard lawsuit, and they didn't forget that. They didn't forget what Amber Heard said to them and then what they watched throughout the hearings and her kind of just completely forgetting the fact that she had abused Johnny. We got to read her messages, and we kind of up close got to see how the press can just completely take down a man. I'm not saying that everything that Johnny Depp did was great in this relationship. But definitely they just chose the woman in this, and so many details were left out. And I think it was a good moment. I think that fracturing was good because it allowed us to all go, let's pause and actually think and consider that maybe we're not being told the truth and that maybe sometimes women do lie.
And if they lie and they use those lies to take down a man, that's pretty awful. And so we've come to sort of this climax point, right, as a country where we're looking at DEI and ESG and even the Me Too stuff and saying, okay, let's have a moment where we really try and figure out what's true and get rid of the spin, because there's all these reporters that have their agenda out there. We've seen this over and over again, right? And certainly with the Trump administration, you definitely see that over and over again. And so we've got to get away from that spin. As more and more comes out, maybe we'll get away from just this idea that the woman is always the victim. Just like, if you are a minority, you are therefore always the victim. Or if you're the climate, you're always the victim. At some point, we kind of got to just get real. This caught my eye just because I thought, wow, this is true. She's kind of not a very nice person, right? And there's a lot of back and forth about why this is all coming out right now. The lawyer for one, Justin Baldoni, attorney, would like to get his hands on those text messages between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, in which she alleged